Hello, loves. It is almost time for the blood moon eclipse, which will take place on the 8th of November. I think for pretty much all of us. It might have shifted just barely into the 9th for Australia and that part of the world, Japan, etc. As we open this reading, I'm feeling really called to sit for a moment. Let the heart expand. Let us breathe. Perhaps it's because this is the reading for the Golden Sheen Obsidian. Really picks up that ring light, doesn't it? It's like your halo. Golden Sheen Obsidian, like black obsidian, is connected to the black ray. It's a mirror. It's introspective. The golden aspect of this stone connects to the solar plexus. What this means is that it's really bringing you into your power center. Golden Sheen has the ability to take you deep within your sense of self. It allows you to explore that which you think about yourself and that which is true about yourself, and to help you, it holds that mirror up, right? To help you truly feel the places where you're giving your power away, the ways in which you are underpowering and overpowering, so that you can kind of line up. You can release the things that are sapping your power, whether those are internal things, and mostly those are internal things, or things that are seemingly external. I have a new little friend for us in today's readings as well. The place that I go and get my donut when I go on a donut journey was having a little pop-up this morning. And some of the different people who work there are artists, potters, and jewelers. And one of them had created this beautiful little Argus, is what I'm calling it, a many-eyed being. It's from her Cute Demons series, she said. And it felt absolutely perfect to be here with us, this all-seeing eyes, during this cycle's readings. And even more so because the anchor deck, the first card we will pull from, is going to be from the Kali Oracle. We'll also get some messages from the Secret Language of Light, and the Thoth Tarot came in for us as our tarot deck. This Kali deck is pretty new. I got it when I was in Santa Fe, so it will be fun. This is the first Oracle card transmissions with Kali, and Kali is so active over these next couple lunar cycles. During the during the blood moon eclipse, Kali is actually exactly across the wheel, moving backwards in Taurus from Venus, who is moving forwards in Scorpio. There's something really divine feeling about Kali working with Venus. In this way, on this eclipse. Let's see here. As I'm shuffling these, it's coming in to remind you to continue to breathe into your heart space right now. Working with the Golden Sheen Obsidian with Kali. This is really asking you to stand in truth. Neither Kali nor Golden Sheen Obsidian will let you stand in falsity. And there is absolutely nothing about this blood moon eclipse cycle that will allow you to. Shiva is also exactly crossing the moon and Uranus in Taurus, and the sun and Mercury in Scorpio. One more bridge. These are a little bit different, these cards. There's an image on one side and text on the other. So I'm going to start out showing the image. This beautiful purple flower with a sun colored, solar plexus colored, really, bloom within. This really feels like opening your heart center to allow yourself to connect in with your creative center and your power center. There's orange and yellow here. We have the green on the outside, and this purple magenta color that we could connect to the pink ray and to the kind of second chamber of the heart space, helping hold you in love. Let's see what this card says. Moksha of Kali. Relief shall come swiftly. Soon you will see things differently. If I haven't heard anything about eclipse season, right? You are going to be liberated from the struggle you are currently experiencing. Be true to yourself and your life path, and you will attract the way forward. You will overcome all opposition, be released into improved circumstances, and be supported to bring your sacred path to fruition. Beautiful. In the description on the YouTube, I will transcribe the text of the Kali message for you so that you have access to it. You can read it because it feels more true, at least for this reading, to have the image. I have a feeling that's going to be true whenever I use this deck. Let's go into the secret language of light. It kind of feels like the message of that card is describing what this eclipse wormhole feels like. So much transformation and so much remembering to be true in that, so that as you step each step forward on your path, you know that it is in alignment, that it is in alignment. It feels really perfect to have come through with the Golden Sheen Obsidian as well. There's this way in which you're being gifted to remember that each step brings you closer and closer to your truth if you allow it. That's the important part, right? Allowing it. Let's see here. We had that working before. I think that works now. Use the introspective nature of Golden Sheen, any of the black colored obsidians, whether it's black, rainbow, or Golden Sheen. But this feels like almost like a quiet reading, doesn't it? Sometimes I feel really chatty, but in this one, there's this sense of allowing the frequency to travel. And hit you where it needs to hit you without a lot of words. Awakening. Look at that solar plexus. It's beautiful also with Uranus being conjunct to the moon, during this particular eclipse. There's this sense of bringing the unconscious to consciousness and grounding. Yes. The earth passing between the sun and the moon, your unconscious and your sense of self. Allowing you to connect them. Awaken, sleeper, awaken. Remember, 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 remember. You're being asked to connect in from your heart space into your solar plexus through that Chiron point. Allow the threads to weave, to connect the truth of who you are, this divine love that you are, with how you express yourself in the world. To connect your sense of self up into the cosmos and down into the core of the earth. To let the true you shine through. To allow yourself to wake up. Wake up. And when you look in the mirror, to see the true you, the light that you are, which will enable you to ground, to anchor ever more and ever more of that light into your being, into your body, which will also allow you to seed it through all the world. What is in your hands? What seeds are you planting? There's a very strong sense with this reading that you're being called upon to look within, to move through and past the words that I'm sharing, to look within yourself and find the message that's being transmitted by the divine and your higher self to you. Feels like that is in some ways always true with these readings. But the Golden Sheen is really working its magic in this one. Feels like there's going to be 3 tarot cards for you to interpret. That's the way it came through. I will, of course, have something to say, I'm sure. It's coming in to remind you that in every moment you were creating the world that you see and experience. And part of this invitation through the Golden Sheen, through your being of self-interpretation, is to remember that. Okay. There's our first one. The Knight of Discs. Grounding indeed. You may remember that in the Thoth deck, discs are the same as pentacles. So that's about your physical body and your being. There is something waking up in your physical being. And it's helping you move into a new level. The Three of Swords. Crowley named this card Sorrow. It feels like the grief that you leave behind, the grief that you are leaving behind, an idea of who you were that is no longer true anymore. We're going to come back to that because there's something else coming through. And the Lovers. Divine union. This very much feels like it is about a unification of self as opposed to it being you calling in or finding another being that you're going to be in relation with. It does not mean that Eros does not have an arrow pointed. However, it feels much more about a reconnection with your true self. As we speak of this, look at these rings, these concentric rings, these halo of golden light coming off of the shield here. This feels like radiating a true, empowered sense of self out into the world, allowing you to ground it. It's awakening the self with love, allowing yourself to be the totality of who you are. The totality of who you are. At least in this moment. Subject to change. We are always evolving. Okay, back to the Three of Swords. There are many ways to look at the Three of Swords. When I was at Chimayo in New Mexico on the Taos High Road, there was the sorrow of Mother Mary, which is it's the Three Sorrows, it's called. And it's about her losing Jesus, first to his mission, then to the cross, and then to his rising and ascending. A lot of times this card will appear as a heart with three swords in it. Sometimes it can be interpreted as a broken heart. And when we leave parts of ourselves behind that are no longer true anymore, it can feel like heartbreak. It can feel like heartbreak. sometimes it's a literal heartbreak because the thing that is no longer true is a relationship that we're in. Even if that relationship is a relationship with an aspect of ourselves. I'll share. It's coming in to share from my personal journey. When I was a teenager, late teens and early 20s, when I was on Grateful Dead and Fish Tour, my nickname was Schwillery because I drank like no one else. I could put down more alcohol than people 3 times my size and still be up walking around like nothing. This idea of myself as this person who could drink and who enjoyed to drink was so ingrained that even when I started having panic attacks as part of my hangover every time I drank, I continued. I had so identified myself with Schwillery. I didn't think that there was any other truth about who I was. But as I got sicker and as the pain that I was in increased and I had to go on medications for it and I had to start having surgeries, one of the things that I had to let go of was alcohol. Because alcohol and a lot of the medicines that I was taking do not get along at all. It's a very, very short trip to the other side, if you get my meaning. So I then became very identified with this person who was so sick and had to be on all these medicines. I let that replace the person who drank a lot. And there was one time that I was visiting my father. There was a big family reunion happening in Madison on my mom's side. And so my sister and my niece and my sister's partner and Mike and I all went to Madison. We hung out with my dad a lot and his wife. At one point, we're all hanging out, and my dad looks at me and he says, I bet you want a vodka soda more than anything in the world, and you just cannot wait until you're feeling better and you don't have to be on these medicines so that you can have this vodka soda. And his wife, Kathy, looks at him and is like, don't say that. But I laughed and I was like, you know what? Actually, no. At this point, I had also had to quit smoking. And this dark night of the soul of being sick had stripped away all of these ideas of myself. At that point, I was even starting to lose the connection of I'm this sick being who has to be on all these medicines. I wasn't quite there yet, but it was coming closer and closer and closer. The seed had been planted, as it were. And now I sit here and I look back fondly at Schwillery and how much fun we had and also how much trouble we got into and all of the ways that alcohol served me in that point in time in my life. But I had to also grieve the loss because I lost a lot of friends through that process because they knew Schwillery. They didn't know Hils. And they were still living that life. And it didn't have room for hils in it. There's a lot of other friends that welcomed hils and were rejoicing with me at the shedding of that skin of Schwillery. And this sense of unification that I got with a truth about my nature, that I'm so sensitive, and alcohol had been such a part of my life because it helped me find a way to quiet, to sleep. For each and every one of us, the transformation of ourself, the death of one part to bring in a new, more true aspect. They're called growing pains for a reason. It's coming in to remember the celebration as you let go of more and more of the false ideas of who you are supposed to be, and embrace more and more of who you truly are. You're able to dance and celebrate and love the entirety of your existence on this planet. This is not about shaming. I don't shame chivalry. I rejoice in all of the gifts that were given to me through that part of my life. Even the ones that I don't remember. As you reflect upon the messages, as you self-interpret these cards, it's coming in to offer a sort of meditative practice of journaling, of writing letters to those aspects of yourself that you don't need to carry forward, like a Dear John letter, like a fond farewell. I love you. May the rest of your travels be light. Allow yourself to grieve, to cry as you write these letters. Maybe there's a journal entry that you can allow to move through you, to travel through your heart and your diaphragm, and down your arms to the pen or pencil and the paper, that will help you connect in with what you might be eclipsing out. Perhaps it's not journaling at all. Perhaps it's sitting silently or taking a shower and letting the water soothe you. Maybe it's taking a nap and letting the dreams guide you, or a walk, letting the clouds and the birds. This practice, this meditation, this transmission feels like an invitation to connect with what most serves you as we move through this week, these next couple of weeks, and through these next 6 months, which is how long this eclipse is active. To allow each step that you take to be a skip along the yellow brick road. And having a vision of the scene of the Wizard of Oz when they encounter the field of poppies and they fall asleep. Everyone except for the Tin Man. Who's able to wake them up through his heart so that they may continue on. And to share that in this moment it is coming in to remember that each of the beings that Dorothy encountered in the Wizard of Oz were actually aspects of herself that she was reintegrating as she journeyed down the path. And I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for allowing me to share your journey, to share these transmissions, to share the blue flame, to share my true self, and witness the blooming of yours. So much love.